Hi friends, welcome back to Vaya Meditation channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Tantra. There's an old saying which says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears or the master appears. In my own journey, I've seen that this statement is true literally and figuratively. When you actually go deeper into meditation and mindfulness, you can see that anything can be a guru. You can see a falling leaf, you can see a blooming flower, you can see a crashing wave and a rising wave, and all of them can be your master at that moment. But apart from this, I've been very lucky to have met wise people in my journey. I met Guru Sarvananda in Manila, and once I was having beer with him. We were having drinks, and unlike spiritual masters, he does not prohibit from anything, from meat consumption or alcohol. He takes things as they come. So I asked him, though it was not really something that affected me, I just asked him that a lot of people on the spiritual journey do not consume alcohol, but why do you do so? So he was having beer and the beer was open, and he told me the beer is open. If I have it, it will go back to the earth after 1 or 2 hours. Beer is open. If I throw it right now, it will go back to the earth if I throw it also. So whether I have it or I throw it, it goes back to the earth. And then he told me that's how things are. Everything rises from the earth, it goes back to the earth. And that is Tantra, the 360 degrees of life. Then I still remember we were talking there, and he told me that Vedanta would consider whatever comes and goes as unreal. Like anything that rises and anything that sets is unreal. And whatever is eternal, that's real. That's the approach of Vedanta. But he says, in case of Tantra, both Maya as well as Brahman, both are real. That is the approach of Tantra. So it is 360 degrees of life. Whatever comes, you take it as a whole. You don't take parts. Accepting life as a totality is the fundamental principle of Tantra. If you go by definition, it is weaving of physical and the spiritual. Hence, it consists of various methods, techniques. There are scriptures of Tantra. But all of this, if you really go deeper and try to understand, is basically acceptance of 360 degrees of life. Hence, there are mantras, there are texts, there are scriptures, and there are tons and tons of methods as prescribed by Tantra. Now, another thing that I want to mention here is that there are different paths that people follow. There's something called as an extreme right hand path, which is the path of purity, extreme purity. Then there's a right hand path where you can be as pure as possible. There's a middle path, and then there is a left hand path, and there can be an extreme left hand path. A left hand path would also include things like what shamans do: consume substances, magic mushrooms, ayahuasca. Many things can be used to take a glimpse of altered state of consciousness. So there are paths from left to right. Tantra is actually combination of all. There is, if you go to some masters, there is a right hand path Tantra. There were masters like Anandamurti who practiced the right hand path Tantra, and then there is a left hand path Tantra. But essence of it is that it does not choose one method. It does not choose a middle path. It does not choose the extreme right. It does not choose the extreme left. It actually encompasses everything. It does not miss out anything. So I think this is a very essential point to understand about Tantra. Now I want to come to another point, which is Tantra is very often misunderstood. There is an aspect of the sexual alchemy which often gains more attention in case of Tantra. Now I have my own understanding and reason why that is the case. But before that, I'd like to quote Osho in his book of secrets, which was earlier known as Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. He makes a definition, but of course the definition was in response to a question asked by a questioner. So he says in the definition that yoga is suppression with awareness, while Tantra is indulgence with awareness. In both cases, there is awareness. But of course, this is just one aspect. So yoga being suppression with awareness is not yoga in totality. It could be one aspect of yoga. Likewise, tantra being indulgence with awareness is not the totality of tantra. It is one aspect of tantra, but it is that aspect which has somehow got more recognition. And why could that be so? UG Krishnamurti used to say something very beautiful. He used to say that we see what we want to see, we hear what we want to hear. What we don't want to hear, we selectively exclude that. And if you observe your own daily life, you will see it is very true. You, me, all of us subscribe to an agenda, and then we keep following that. And then anything else which is contrary to that agenda, we don't consider that to be true. In today's world, we call that as fake news. It could be fake news, and I'm not saying it is not. But very often, it is basically anything which is going against our bias is usually excluded by us. I'll give you one example. When I was in college, when we were in hostel, that time, it was not a digital age. There would be a lot of newspapers which would come to hostel. And I saw that people read newspapers in a very selective manner. Somebody would just open the sports page. Somebody would open the entertainment section. Another guy would open the business section. And a fourth guy would look at the politics. And a fifth guy who was looking at a job, who was in the final year of the college, would probably look at the job section. What does that prove? It just proves that we often like to see what we want to see. And hence, I think when it comes to Tantra, we have actually taken one aspect of Tantra and have put more attention on it, which is the sexual alchemy aspect of Tantra, which in my understanding is only a part of the whole game. So Tantra, as I said, is 360 degree of life as a whole. A part of that is the other alchemy, which is also correct, which is also there. But fundamentally, if you want to understand Tantra, it is taking the wholeness of life. You're not taking one part, you're not accepting one part and rejecting one part. You are accepting the totality of life. Accepting totality of life is Tantra. It is 360 degrees of life. So far in the video, I've covered the very high level aspect. Now I will just go a little into details as to how the three broad classifications of Tantra are done. So first is the Dakshinachara Tantra, which is the right hand path, the path of purity as we talked about. Then there is the left hand path, which is the Vamachara Tantra. And then there is an extreme left hand path, which is the Aghora Tantra. Now there are these 5 M's of the Tantra, which I will read out, which is Madhya, the wine, Mamsa, which is meat, Matsya, fish, Budra, which is dry grain, and Methun, which is the sexual intercourse. Now in this, each segment of your each sect of Tantra would classify differently. Like for example, when we talk of wine, the left hand path, which is the Vamchar, would take it very literally. It's the wine. They would use a substance or anything that gives you that kind of a high. It will take it literally. While the Dakshinachara Tantra, which is the right hand path, would take it as a symbolism. It could be like the divine nectar. It can be taken in that sense. Similarly, the Maithun aspect, which is the sexual aspect, is taken very seriously by the left hand path, while the right hand path could equate it to the rising of Kundalini or other subtle forces. So this is how these 3 paths differ in their approach to Tantra. But ultimately, Tantra as a whole is a mixture of everything that life has to offer. If you want to follow the Dakshinachara Tantra, Ananda Marge offers that. They call it Tantra Yoga. Anandamurti was a very famous exponent of Tantra. Then if you want to read a little more about it, there's a very beautiful book called as the Book of Secrets by Osho. It contains 112 meditation methods which are attributed to Lord Shiva. I think that is a very exhaustive book on various techniques. If you are into techniques, I think that's a very exhaustive book. And Osho has made a lot of commentaries on Tantra. So this is a short video which I wanted to make. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe the channel and share the videos. Meditation and mindfulness is a very hard subject to promote. I seek your help. Thank you and take care.